The Arcadion is our normal raid series in Dawntrail, and so far, it has been pretty great. With patch 7.2, we will be getting the second part of this raid series, so to prepare, let's take a quick look back at the story so far. I have already uploaded a video doing a quick refresh of the 7.0 to 7.1 main story, and I do plan to make these for the foreseeable patches, so if you find this type of content useful, make sure to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on any handy quick news or recaps in the future. The Arcadion is an arena located in Solution 9. There, the fighters use feral beast souls to increase their strength and shift their appearance during their fights. Using the regulators, they can pretty much fight to the death without risk of permanently dying. The Arcadion was opened shortly after the end of 7.0. We were then recruited to take part in the upcoming tournament by Metem, who is both the announcer and handler of the Arcadion. The tournament is split into 3 tiers: the light heavyweight, which is what we have taken part in, the cruiserweight, which we will take part in 7.2, and finally the heavyweight, which we expect to be in 7.4. As we don't use regulators, we are instead allowed to use 7 souls of former champions to assist us during the fight, as canonically, the Warrior of Light is opposed to using the souls like this. Metem does agree that after every fight, the 7 souls fighting with us will be released. And if we win the whole tournament, then we can do whatever we want with all of the souls within the Arcadion. So with that, we agree to take part in the fight. Our first fight was against Black Cat, and then our second against Honeybee Lovely, which the community seemed to have absolutely fallen in love with, and I mean, how can you not? It was after the second fight that Black Cat, whose name is actually Yana, offered to become our second. We learn that after losing a fight, the combatants can't fight for a while, and she is curious how we can fight so fiercely without using a feral soul. A second is someone who helps us research the fights and supports us during training. And as we don't know the fighters, but Yana does, she is actually perfect for this role. As we go to Yana's gym, we get to know a little bit more about her and her family. First of all, she has 2 sisters, one younger and one older. They were orphaned some years ago when their parents died out on a hunt. Their parents are originally from Turali, and they did not want to wear regulators after becoming trapped in the dome. So, when they died, they didn't come back. Because they were not wearing regulators, the girls do remember them, but their deaths is partially what has influenced the girls to wear regulators now, fearing losing one another. Yana's younger sister is named Niuni, and she spends most of her time in the gym, and is quite persistent that her sister should wear regulators, and we should probably think about it too. They also have an older sister named Eutrope, but she went missing some years ago. She was a fighter in the Arcadion, and went under the name Wicked Thunder. She was quite popular and was about to be immortalized, but then she went missing. When we ask about what it means to be immortalized, Yana explains that it is the highest reward for any contestant in the Arcadion. Feral souls take a heavy toll on the body, so the Arcadion fighters retire young, and Eutrope was just about to reach that stage. When they retire, they get immortalized, which just means they're allowed to live up in the higher level of Everkeep in the lap of luxury and comfort. But Eutrope never reached that stage. Just before she was about to be immortalized, she vanished, and nobody knows where she went. But luckily for us, we will find out soon enough. Our next fight was against Brute Bomber, who cheated during the match, and yet we won against him. After the fight, he wanted to attack us again, but just as he was about to do that, he got struck unconscious by a bolt of lightning, and the lights in the arena cut out. When they come on again, Eutrope is standing there, and she has returned with one purpose: to fight us, and by winning, getting our soul. Now, Metem points out she doesn't have the right to fight in the Arcadion, But the president of Ascension Arcadia, which owns the whole Arcadion thing, allows it as an expedition match. So we start preparing. And while we do end up having to fight Wicked Thunder, we do end up winning. We do get a chance to talk to Eutrope as he goes to meet her sisters, and there we learn the horrifying truth of the Arcadion. There is no immortalization, at least not in the way that it has been explained to us. The reason fighters retire young is that excessive use of feral souls causes a disease called psychonecrosis, which causes the user's own soul to degrade, leading to death. Those who are immortalized are not taken to a life of luxury, but instead to a secret facility where the regulators are removed and they are confined until they die. Which is why no one has ever met those who were immortalized, but they also remember them. Because if they die without a regulator, the system doesn't know they are dead and doesn't know to erase those memories. Eutrope tells us that during her fighting, she started noticing the condition in herself. She wanted to get the counsel of those immortalized, so she snuck into the president's office to find out where they were living, only to discover the truth. Knowing her fate was sealed, she made herself disappear so she could not be taken to the facility, and instead she went out searching for a cure. And she found a theory that if she were to obtain a soul dense enough, it could cure her psychonecrosis, which is why she wants our soul, as it is denser than any other soul on the source. As he explains this, and poor Yana begs her sister not to do this, we learn that Metem has been listening in. We are ready to stop him from tattling on us, but he tells us that he overheard everything, and he genuinely did not know the truth about what happened to those immortalized, or the disease. He always thought the fights were safe. So at least for now, he seems to be on our side. He explains that we can't come out with this information right now, as it would put everyone in danger. The president would just cover it all up. So instead, we must become the Grand Champion to gain access to all of the souls in the repository, so we can release them back to the Ethereal Sea, and hopefully find a way to take down the Arcadion as a whole. But while we are safe for now, there are many more fights to come before we can dismantle the horror that is the Arcadion. And so we enter patch 7.2 and the Cruiserweight Championship to get one step closer to our goal. And that is the story of the Arcadion so far. If you found this helpful, then please give me a commendation by liking and subscribing, or even sharing this with a friend or your free company. And in the end, all I want to say is takk fyrir að horfa og eigðu yndislegan dag.